After crushing the Covenant and retreating from Reach, it only seems fitting to end up right where we began, in Halo Anniversary, a commemorative update of Combat Evolved that brings the series full circle. Celebrating 10 years of Master Chief with completely redone visuals, all new story content, and multiplayer support that goes beyond good old system link, Anniversary makes an earnest effort to push the golden oldie through the slipstream of time with a convincing package that seemingly does it all. But for grizzled Space Marines who have already finished the fight, does Anniversary make a second deployment onto Installation 4 worth the while?
Let's give our old friends a warm welcome.
I've already begun.
You already know how it all ends, and chances are you already know how it begins, too. After a hasty retreat from the Covenant incursion upon Reach, the crew of a UNSC cruiser ship crash lands upon a mysterious ring world where their alien oppressors have mistakenly awakened an ancient biological epidemic. It's a good thing, then, that humanity has a force of its own to awaken as well.
Right. Let's thaw him out.
Anniversary's Take on the Tale presents an unerring account of events that stick to the original game's script and voice acting to a T, which in 2011 can either sound outmoded, nostalgic, or some combination of the two, depending on your taste for zesty one-liners.
If I still had fingers, they'd be crossed.
Save for the enhanced visuals, the central exposition of Combat Evolved remains largely the same, but as an added bonus to treasure hunting enthusiasts who comb through every inch of the game's visually restored world, Anniversary includes hidden terminals which provide cryptic vignettes of the story at large, as well as small spurts of information that may lead to some hints about the upcoming new trilogy in the works. Halo fans expecting anything more out of the core story experience outside of updated graphics may come away disappointed, but as far as remake treatments go, it's every bit as faithful to the material as you'd expect.
If Halo is a weapon, and the Covenant gain control of it, they'll use it against us and wipe out the entire human race.
I'm a cowardly fool! They're everywhere!
Halo Anniversary's insistence on a completely faithful rendition of Combat Evolved goes beyond a mere promise. It actually uses the same exact code as the original. While it almost seems hard to believe at times, the game definitely proves its fidelity through its real-time graphics switching feature, which shutters Anniversary's modernized visuals for the original game's classic look. The transition may not be exactly seamless, with the game taking a split second to demake itself before your very eyes, but it's definitely effective in showing you just how committed Anniversary is to maintaining form. The illusion works beautifully throughout, at least most of the time, when certain presentational seams like archaic animations don't remind you of the careful facade that's in place. Suffice to say that the campaign unflinchingly sticks closely to Combat Evolved to a fault. Like the original, the sporadic checkpoints, vaguely placed objectives, and cut-and-paste corridors may have you gasping for air at some points, but luckily there's still split-screen co-op too.
Sorry, hold your fire!
While Anniversary's impressively redone campaign mode stands out as a glowing tribute to the past, it's evident that its online suite is more thoroughly invested in the present, utilizing a Reach-powered version of multiplayer that includes features like online co-op, armor abilities, weapon loadouts, and more. Disappointingly, however, the game only includes a combination of 6 multiplayer maps from Halo 1 and 2, plus a single new firefight map based on the second mission of the campaign. The maps themselves are particularly well designed, featuring original and remixed versions with updated level elements, but are discouraging in Anniversary's overall spare multiplayer set for essentially coming off as nothing more than map pack fodder. Players have a choice of importing them into Halo Reach with a packaged voucher, or downloading them on Xbox Live the week the game's out. With the lack of even the most basic Combat Evolved accoutrement like split-screen Slayer, players expecting the same measure of sanctity given to the updated campaign experience will feel left out to dry in the multiplayer setting. In terms of extras, Anniversary's periphery of bonus features keeps it similarly trim. Apart from Waypoint and the aforementioned terminals, there's also a set of Connect features which run the gamut of allowing you to hurl grenades by shouting, to scanning characters, enemies, and environments to pull up detailed database entries. Accessing the scanning feature is impossible without a Connect, which eliminates some of the content for those without the peripheral. It's a bit of a shame for a game largely in need of it. Even without its shiny new HD veneer, Combat Evolved is a game that's aged remarkably well. Aside from a few differences in layout, you can barely tell when switching between the tight and responsive controls of the original and the updated Reach-powered multiplayer, which really is a testament to how much the first game got right.
Revenge!
The biggest treat comes with revisiting classic Halo conventions. Having to once again scramble around for health packs re-emphasizes the series' raw and dangerous feel, which in Anniversary's campaign feels no less diminished in 2011, even with the return of the borderline overpowered pistol sniping. It's a much different case in multiplayer, however, which instead favors Reach's current weapon tuning and balance. It's an interesting combination, especially when dropping new school gadgets like the jetpack into the classic maps from Halo 1 and 2. In most respects, Anniversary isn't much different than what you originally played 10 years ago, which, in this case, isn't necessarily a bad thing. In a time where many games still struggle to get a particular feel right, Anniversary effortlessly channels a classic that still continues to deliver smooth performance to this day. While it isn't always about the looks, it's the graphics rather than the combat that seems to be doing the most evolving this time around. Luckily for Halo Anniversary, the updated campaign visuals really do look great, with the much talked about real-time graphics switching doing its part to show you just how far the game has come over the years. While still not quite on par with the series at its visual peak and reach, the general difference in detail still manages to produce some pretty striking comparisons when viewed against the original, which are especially notable when the updates make certain missions, like the infamously treacherous library, much easier to navigate than before. In all, Halo Anniversary definitely looks the part of an HD remake done right, with the soundtrack featuring remastered scores from series composer Martin O'Donnell successfully setting the mood in all the right places.
All you greenhorns who wanted to see Covenant up close, this is gonna be your lucky day.
Though it expertly renovates one of the defining campaigns of the console FPS, Halo Anniversary is perhaps less successful at being a tribute, woefully omitting a large part of what made the series a success, on top of somehow forgetting about party favors along the way. In the end, Anniversary comes a bit underdressed to its own celebration, but if you've got a soft spot for the Chief, or have yet to experience Halo in its original form, now would be a great time to start the fight.
Good to see you, Master Chief. Things aren't going well.